All right, welcome to Asylum Atelier. Welcome to Creative Discourse. Welcome to this improvised studio that I'm in right now. I'm sorry for that. I started the stream and I thought that I was just gonna go right into painting, but the master of the studio just showed up, and we had a little chat about how to continue and what he would like to see, what changes and which things are working, which doesn't. So we had like a quick chat about. I would call it constructive criticism, because that's basically what it is. He has been painting since none of us were alive. That's what I have to say. So he has enormous amount of experience and knowledge that is behind him. So yeah, so that's just a little bit of the reason behind why I was quiet or muted, to say. All right, let me go right into this, since I have, that kind of a fresh feedback. Also, I wanted to say I started a little late today because there's a second day of practical exams for the students. So all the academies here, everybody who has anything to do with the academy is going from one atelier to another, and they're discussing the students' work and grading students on their practical knowledge when it comes to painting. So that's what was happening yesterday and today. Hopefully, I'm not sure, but it seems like they finished today. And tomorrow we'll start the second part of this, and that's that the academy is going to be open for public. So everybody who is interested in art or would like to know what's happening or would like to see students' work. And I would say that some of the students are already working professionals, because they are not only students that they are young, but there's also students there in my age, which is in their mid to late 30s, and you can see there is I would call this as a second part of that exam, where there was professionals that were your peers that were grading you, and right now the public is going to give you their opinion. There is nothing more beneficial or there was nothing more beneficial, I think, when it comes to painting and drawing and actual feedback from general public than sitting in that huge atelier, because people don't know your faces. You're not the famous painter or rock star or anything like that, so they don't know. And you talk to them and they're telling you things about your painting that if they knew that it's yours, they wouldn't tell you. It's not that I wouldn't, that's not, the idea is not that I would lie to them or anything like that. It's just the conversations are really interesting. You're observing, and you are also receiving feedback from a general public. And I don't want to call them just regular people. It's just the people that are not in business or business. That's not in business. They're not in painting in general. They might be. There might be. Fans of art, there might be hobbyists. Some of them are also professionals. There's a lot of other professionals from a different parts of the I would say world. When I did these things a couple years ago, from all over the world, people were coming here and observing. It used to be a big deal. It was during, and that's why you can still find this academy in the Google Art listed as the Imperial Academy, because it was built by Peter the Great, because he needed more art, because he saw it in Europe, and he wanted to bring more culture, more art, and more education to his empire. And so so he actually commissioned this this incredible building, which includes so many other stuff. It's a huge thing, and it's all dedicated to art. I one day I wish you could actually visit this place. It feels old. It is old. Sometimes you just like this might need maybe a little bit of renovation here, but it's a part of the history, and I really enjoyed my staying here. So yeah, so that's what's happening right now. I'm sorry, I'm again going off track that no one cares about that much. Or maybe you care about that more than about this painting. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding this. Since none of us are alive, I love that line. Yeah, well, because he has been here for a while painting, and I didn't want to say that he's old in terms of like well that yeah that the time, it's the one that you cannot lie to. It's just it's what it is. So, but yeah, it's what it is. His knowledge is. I wish I could spend more time with these masters that they actually teach here at the academy, because a tradition is and always has been that only the best can get into this position. It's not always the truth, but if you are exceptional painter, you you're gonna be offered a position to teach here as an assistant. There is no way that you as a or it's very rare, let me put it this way, because these positions are being handed from master to assistant, and from assistant to, then became a master, and then he chooses his own assistants. So it's the old school system of the ateliers that of course it has to be today. It has to be approved by the school, but it is usually the case. Another thing that's going to happen, which is very interesting, and we're going to have another ad break in 20 seconds, because I think that it was again the dip in a internet connection, which is getting extremely annoyed again. Anyway, so yeah, there's going to be another part. My master and his assistants are going to go to see. I think it's going to happen tomorrow or day after tomorrow. I'm not sure. And he's going to come into a studio of first year and second year students, and into studio of second year students, and he is going to choose from the applicants to his studio. So there's another big deal for second year students that's happening right now. They wrote a official letter asking to be his students, and right now because he has a limited amount of spaces for students. So in second year, you really have to, at the end of the second year, you really have to show what you have. And sometimes you get to your studios, but not always. Sometimes they say, I'm sorry, this is not up to our standards, and we don't have a space for you. So that's like a polite way to say that this is not necessarily what we're looking for. And it happens quite often, actually. I was fortunate to get to the studio where I wanted to be. So that being said, it's not about one studio is better than the other. That's not how it works. It's about a certain, still disheartening for some of them, I bet. Yeah, it is. It is because, and just to finish this thought, because that's important. It's not about the one studio would be better than the other. It's more about that one studio has a particular style of painting. And when I say style, I don't mean that you're gonna be, we're talking about the stylistic. It's more about a certain aesthetics that they prefer with their setups, with their compositions, and so on and so forth. So that's the differences. So you shouldn't be thinking that the studios are good or bad. It's more about because we have a monumental studios, we have easel studios, we have a religious studio, we have there's the outside one which is supposed to paint more of a historic painting, something that I do actually would in the history or thinking like a couple hundred or 100 years ago, I would be in the studio outside painting this. Which is when I say studio outside, there is a separate small like a imagine a glass building which is using completely natural light, not one directional kind of a window light. So there is a lot of interesting things here that you can explore, and a little corners and nooks that like small tiny or thin narrow passages through the building. It's incredible. It's incredible to be here. So yeah, I feel extremely fortunate. Okay, I spent again like half an hour talking about this stuff, but if you're interested more about this, maybe we could do like a little stream only dedicated to this later on, maybe like a small video. I wish I could put all these things together and get it out immediately. Unfortunately, this is right now the main focus for me, and I feel that I am behind the schedule a lot. I see a lot of work and very little time. So I'm just going to dive into this after the break. Yeah, no worries. Get that darn painting finished first. Yeah, DM. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. It's just yesterday I didn't continue with the stream, but I was painting. I had little lighter values there. Right here, and right now, my favorite thing, I'm just scraping and ironing, and I'm looking for that randomness there that I like so much. Also, my master told me that he doesn't like the pointing finger, and he mentioned something that pointing with the finger is not polite, which I totally get, and I think that the problem is that I want them to be impolite because they were not very welcoming, that part of the group. So it kind of works as intended. Unfortunately, he doesn't like it. So I'll have to figure something out because this might be the sore spot. There were multiple actually masters here today. Also one that it's running a studio of the religious painting. And these guys, they know immediately this icon is wrong, that icon is wrong. It wouldn't be, attached this way. This wouldn't be this way, because they have the canon. And when I say canon, I mean canon that started, I think, in the 4th century or 5th century when it comes to icons. So they pretty much figured it out. Not figured it out. They pretty much know what they're talking about by this point because it haven't changed from there. They use the same materials, same old school ways to do it. They are not allowed any experimentation when it comes to poses because every pose, every position, every symbol has its meaning, and unless you organize them properly, it doesn't work or it's not allowed. They have a lot of rules. So I got a lot of recommendation. I was told that this doesn't work, that doesn't work. So, and since, I am here to actually study, I'm going to take all this, constructive criticism and try to put it into my painting. Because that's how I think about it. That's how I want to move forward or improve rather. So yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But you know, that's the fun. That's the fun part when it's tough. Or is it just me thinking that way or lying to myself? Let me also adjust the camera. This is absolutely ridiculous. Like my phone just updated itself. Because I put it on the charger and it realized that it has a this is one thing that I hate so much. Automatic updates. They're just annoying. Got love tech. Yeah. Me especially, right? DM7. Me especially. I'm the main tech bro. Right, this could go actually. Let's see if right now after the update my cell phone is going to say that, oh, the setup doesn't work, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. I can already see it. To be honest, I'll be worried if your stream is actually going flawless and smooth at this point. Damn, this is so. I'm gonna call it bittersweet because I understand what you're saying, but it's just. So this is not AI generated stream. I'm gonna take it as a compliment. I'd start thinking you're an imposter or something. Yeah, most likely. I actually love those quirks. Yeah, I know that you do. I know. Me too. It's making it a little bit more fun and alive. But I think that it's taking away that. Oh, hey, Talking Princess, good to see you here. Sometimes I feel that it's just being too. How would I put this? Destructive. For painting and for explaining stuff and it's not like I would be bothered that much by that. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's more like, can we make this a little bit more or less complicated? All right, we're good. Maybe a little bit more here. These are just it's all fun and games. All right. So I'm going to be continue cleaning up this mess that I created, and I say mess because I'm really looking at it as a mess. I want that randomness there, and I'm bringing that light back to painting, so my paintings are not as dark. Because I know one thing for sure, and that's why a foot I haven't changed it for so long because I was keeping it as my mental note that it has to go lighter, and this is how light I can go, even though it looked very dark. It looked very dark because because the ground was way too dark. And right now, I'm just going to do the cleanup, with my palette knife. And this cleanup, it's more about, for me, about that randomness that I'm looking for into this when it comes to ground, because I can't really generate that randomness by formula. It's just it defeats the purpose. But it's still it still has to then be adjusted, or I have to find that beautiful movement in that chaos. And I see right now what I really, really dislike is this cut right here. This is just not what I want, because it's cutting it. And maybe since I put this lighter, maybe this could go darker. And I could actually pair it with the top, so this would be a darker area right here. Which would kind of explain the darker feet, because I could make a kind of a muddy pathway here instead of a dry one. So that's what I'm thinking, because that would kind of nicely bond this together. I had feeling of, like, we have a sky, then I have a figures, and then I cut it with this, and it does not have a connection. So I want to bring maybe a little bit of darkness here into that. Maybe, I'm not sure, but I want to test it, I want to try it. Yeah, and this is a little too... too distractive here right now. So I'm going to unify it a little bit. Yeah. And then I need to start like hitting hard this hand right here. And the form on this. And then connected it with him. And since he's right now, again, sticking out a little too much because he does not have a point of reference for another figures, I was thinking how to adjust this, and I should probably put that larger icon right here, and it could maybe be massive. I was thinking about it because I saw these processions and I was looking for some other paintings and other records about these. So maybe it could be massive, I don't know. But then the only problem that I have with that is that if it's going to be really, really big, like really, really big, it's just going to look a little too rich. And I want them to be, not poor necessarily, but I want them to be modest, because they were a modest group. That's how I think about it. Well, everything was modest. This is one thing about painting that I like so much, because it could involve a lot of history, it could involve a lot of philosophy, it could include a lot of storytelling. No wonder it's one of the, not one of the, it's the ultimate first tool that we have. when it comes to passing a knowledge to another generations. So let's improve this story. Let's give him more. More. And when I say improve the story, I don't mean that you're gonna put like questions and answers into. That's not what I want to do. I want you to show what was happening, and I really want you as a viewer, even though you're a professional painter, it doesn't really matter. I want you to decide what is the one thing that you want to take away from this, or two things, or four things, I don't know. Or if I'm lucky and fortunate enough, every day or every time when you look at this one or any, any other of my works, that I have so many ideas that are just, I always feeling like I can pour them out, sweat them out from my body. Is it the internet connection again dropped? I'm gonna dismiss these commercials immediately because it's annoying. Dismiss, be dismissed. I gotta go and get food. It's raining here now, and will only get worse. I postponed too much. I lurk though. Okay, all right, Jim7. I'll be more than happy to see you here again. I'm going nowhere. It's just the internet connection might decide to do a different thing. Oh, and by the way, DM7, if you're still here, I posted a little short paragraph, no, a couple ideas in Discord. I don't know if you had a chance to see it, and I'm sorry that I didn't respond sooner, but it's just too much stuff going on right now. But I'm still reading everything, and I'm just really bad with responses. Okay, so I'm going to continue with figuring this out. And I really like the cross there. So what I'm thinking is instead of putting a cross, I can put the icon there, like a big one. Same that I had in my, I'm gonna parasite my own paintings, because why not, right? Or what could be better than, then you cannot be accused of stealing anything if you just steal from yourself. Well, you can, well, actually that's a interesting thought. Can I sue myself from stealing from myself? Well, the idea is that I'm gonna win, but in any case. So I'm thinking maybe I could push. So hear me out here. Let me get my brushes up. I'm thinking if I put, maybe I should use my trusty charcoal stick. or wine charcoal or willow, depends. And I have my painting as a as a as a sketch, as a reference, because I want to do two things. I want to create here the guy that I have on my central panel in my studio in Slovakia in that composition, and he could actually nicely connect through. So that's going to be him right here, like lurking from behind. So that would be a central panel, and it's flip horizontally, right? So that's that guy. And then I could take that other guy that is on the corner, and it's holding the icon right here, and his head is here. So I could have him here holding it and seeing again just the one part. Maybe put him a little lower. And I'm going to angle it the same way as I angled that. And I am definitely going to change this and make it bigger. And maybe give it a little bit more, like some slightly different shape. So it serves its purpose. Maybe it could go a slightly higher, maybe. So I would create a, so this is where the sky is, the horizon line. I don't want to make it exactly on the horizon line. It's either going to go higher or it's going to go lower. And I think it could go higher. So I could cut it here and put it here, maybe. But then I'm afraid that I won't have the let's put it higher. Let's start with that. Maybe even up to here. Yeah. So let me maybe again go with my scraping right here. I know that Alma Tadema or Bugaro probably die seeing this. And when I said die, I mean they would probably die by embarrassment or disapproval. But there is something satisfying about maybe he could hold it higher up. Yeah, maybe that will be, yeah, maybe he can hold it higher up. Let me see if I have something that could help me with that. Because it looks that his hand is like too low. And another thing is that, let me just hit it with, that icon right here. And I think I could go a little bit more towards the orange with it. A bit more orange, maybe even, this is going to sound strange, but maybe I can throw some blues into it. Because I want to start connecting the sky a little bit. None of this is going to be there, but it's just helping me to navigate through these options with pigments. I think I have to go yellow. Instead of blue, I'm just going to throw purple there. Because if I go blue and orange, then I don't have, it's very close to skin tone. So I have to make it a little bit less skin tone like. Because I'm not saying that that's how I would paint the skin tones, but that's the relationship that I have with the sky. And, there's no like a skin color. It's just the relationship between them. Yeah, I think that's what will help. So another try we're going to do. I'm going to go yellow. And then I will have to change probably, well, maybe not. We'll see. love to play with the pigment that it's already on the canvas. And you can see how it's really starting to brighten up that area, which is cool, because that's what's going to give us a little bit more of that direction that we're looking for. Maybe it could go even bigger. It seems a little too small right now. Yep. And it's going to go up. Okay. All right. Yep. And let me think of this one. How would I? How would I? How could I deal with this? Thinking what would be the. Looking at my sketch and because I did not spend, and that might be, that's on me that I did not specify a little bit more. Or since I'm changing this, let me think about this. Maybe I can change a little bit the way how he's holding it, because right now, again, I see that I'm framing them with the sticks right here. So maybe he could be pushing it a little bit more. Maybe he could push the hands closer. Let me think of this, because this is a, since, sometimes, not sometimes, I'm thinking about this as the opportunity to change things. But since I am going to change them, right, I don't necessarily want to only change them because, how would I put this? Every change that I am making right now, it's going to affect everything that it's on the canvas. And I see how things merged and moved. And I remember that I liked it at one point during that, initial sketches and initial just, I placed the brush strokes here and brush stroke there. And I felt like, oh, this looks so good. It's just almost a finished painting. And I was actually going back through that, going down to that memory lane, and I was so wrong. It looks way worse than it is right now. it used to look way worse. So the improvement is there. It's just since I'm looking at it over and over again, sometimes I lose. I have that tunnel vision that I talk about a lot. But it does look better, um, and I'm not saying that it's painted better. It does look better. It's closer to what I envisioned or what my aesthetics are. So I'm getting closer to my aesthetics, um, and it might be controversial, but that's what it is. And I made a lot of changes that might have been rushed or maybe not even um, the well, you know what I mean. So this gave me opportunity to change things. The reason why I wasn't changing it again was because I liked the icon there. I like how it looked, and I felt that I can't make it better. I know I can. I can, um, and that's why right now I can actually start moving with his posture a little bit to give him more of a, I don't want to say struggled look, but a little bit more vary. Because right now he's too straight up. And that was one of the things that my master of the studio told me, that um, he just doesn't look right to him, which I'm, you know what, I might be a little bit defensive when it comes to this, but then I think it's just the ego that doesn't allow me to see it clearly. So I have to take it into consideration, and that's a signal for me to make it better. Not necessarily make it better the way that he wants to, but make it better so he cannot complain about that. But that's probably the best explanation that I have about um, um, what to do, or what I'm trying to do, right? Another thing that could, and there was something that I have in my mind. It's to, I'm trying to make their clothes look used with a texture and brush strokes and that kind of a, you know, paint application. Another thing I could do, I could actually, you know, I was talking about the Bouguereau and Alma Tadema and Leighton maybe even. maybe I could start actually giving them a little bit of these patches. So it was kind of a, because that's what a lot of monks actually, how they are shown by Ribera, very, very famous French painter, or Zurbaran, another great master. So they're showing wear and tear, and that's what, that's what was happening before we got into like full-blown um, um, industrial revolution. That you have to repair your clothes. You got one and you were just using it, and when it breaks you sew it together with other materials. You couldn't just go to a store and get a new one. Only clergy, well, the and I'm talking about not even regular monks or regular priests. They couldn't afford that. It wasn't. They received one and they were using it till just broke down. Rarely they had new clothes, right? Only kings and court and nobles, they had clothes. Even they sometimes were like, no way, Jose, there is no way that you're gonna get that new clothes, because just simply it's not even about the money. It's not available, and you would rather to put the money somewhere else, right? So I could start showing that wear and tear. And it also, a lot of times, and I don't want to spread rumors or anything like that, or start some um, conspiracies, but sometimes you can see it even these days, and it's just you can just read Machiavelli and you will understand what I'm talking about. Is that sometimes they wear the priests, they wear used clothes because they wanted to get closer to people, so it's not unheard of. So let me make it slightly bigger. Cool. Yeah, this is way better, because they look a little too. It looked a little too small. Maybe it can be even bigger. Maybe I can show that it's bigger by actually putting. Okay, that. Yep. So I can push it even a little lower here. It's fine. And I'll put the figure offset, so a figure is going to be partially offset there. And that's going to show that it's way more behind them. Yeah, cool. So that's going to go a little bit higher up. And let me see that, because that's, see, like I'm, I should probably stop talking. Oh, wow. What is this? let's see. So I have this. I could, there is, it's going down and then up this way. So the better position for his hands, maybe like I could, I'm thinking about the orientation and what's happening in my head. This is what I'm thinking about. And that's what it starts with. So I like the position of the figure right here. Problem that I have is with this. And I want to relate this element of the composition so it helped that progression and the movement that I was talking about. So it's flowing through the composition. I have these, 1, 2, 3, like the pyramid. But since I add this elements right here, it's flowing this way. And I want to make sure that I don't have that flow of golden stuff. And golden, I mean, that's in quotations. So it just moves. I think it's okay. I just want to make sure that it's not evenly spaced. So it has that nice kind of a flow on its own. I can tell that this needs to go darker, the line there. Immediately I can tell that because that's going to work nicely with that progression that I was talking about. The horizon lines and diagonals, they're kind of going to nicely merge, nicely radiate, I'm sorry, not merge, radiate. So that's another compositional thing that works. Also, I really, really like the dark cross against the dark background, and the separation is in chroma, which works really, really nice. I think it doesn't pop that much, which creates the feeling that it's actually receding in the background a little bit. And then I push this little redder, which is cool. So it's pushing it forward. I probably need a little bit more of the red accents. So perhaps I could put something red right here. So maybe part of the figure might be on the icon, might be actually wrapped in a red cloth. And when I said red, I don't think that I will go full red, but it's going to be desaturated red. Perhaps purple would work. And that will give a little bit more of that connection. Because I have a lot of blues, I have a lot of greens right now and yellows, and I don't know, maybe I need, or it could actually go cool and purple right here. I think it might work. I mean, let's really work on that, because that seems something that might improve that. Something to take into consideration, actually, when it comes to composition, for sure. So what I was talking about is just about the orientation, right? So I'm thinking about this as, it's a kind of a good example of the icon that it could be. It's probably slightly bigger. And I'm thinking about how to put it into relationship of this. First of all, it should go probably, it should be facing this way, because that's going to show me that progression, because they're moving from here to here. So that's kind of a subliminal message for us, or visual information, that they're going from down left side to top right side, which I kind of like. So starting to move and rotate these things might actually break that illusion. Might not. I don't know. Again, I have to see it. That's why I'm kind of not necessarily not unhappy. I just have to, something is missing here. I need to link it somehow. And that's why I was thinking that maybe I should add a little bit more, like another icon right here. But then, well, maybe it could go this way. I don't know. Something is simply missing there to me. maybe. I don't know. I'll see. And probably these things are going to be most visible when I set it up in a frame. So I have to change this. I have to re-stretch it to a different stretcher bars. I have to put the frame. I start working on the frame. So that's this week. It has to be done. It won't be, but it should be. Let me maybe push it darker. Let me try to do darker one. And a little bit of green there. This might be too dark, but that's okay because then I can scratch it out. Okay, another thing is, again, thinking about the progression, maybe a little bit up here. I have to be careful not to put it on the same level as his head is, so they're not framed from both sides this way. And maybe it should go a little bit under the angle. So this is what I'm thinking. So it's higher up above our line of sight. Yeah, well, I don't want to call, yeah, let's call it horizon line. And I'm talking about linear perspective right now. So I would see the lower corner, lower portion of this. And if I rotate, and this is what I'm thinking about, I'm asking myself, and this is a thin book, so it's not going to be, so this is when I'm looking at it straight, right? So I don't see the sides, not top, not bottom, if it's a 1-point perspective. If I raise it up, I see the lower portion. If I tilt it, I see still lower portion and side portion. And if it moves this way, so he's pushing it, so I see this. Okay, but that's gonna go down, and it's going to, well, the orientation is going to be a little bit more this way. And it's going to repeat the book, and I don't think I like that. Also, I don't want to make this the size of their heads, because it's just going to argue with the importance of the head, or not importance, it's just you're going to misread it as a head. And right now, what I have right now, and that's really annoying, I have right now 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm creating this arc right here, which I don't like very much. So this ain't working compositionally for me. So maybe he could be holding a cross as well. So it's not the same shape. And well, this is just extremely problematic and time-consuming for me, because I'm not as good with obviously making these decisions. And not only making these decisions, like I said, I never planned for this composition to going this far, but you know, we're there. So I could actually create just a regular cross there, not the double cross, but the regular cross. This scraping here looks so nice. This is such a nice texture that it's creating. I really, really like it. It's just, it looks like it's really deep in the background. It's barely visible on screen, but it's very visible on in real life. So maybe I could really put the cross there. That actually might be super cool. That could potentially be super cool. Question is, what cross should I put there? Should it be just a simple cross, or should it be a little bit more like advanced? Not when I say advanced, I mean, should it be a little bit more elaborate? Elaborate's not the right word. Should be a little bit more looking a little bit more expensive. Let's try it. Let's maybe push it closer to him. This way. Like it could be here. Right? Well, this might be better. but also might not be. I don't know. This is so funny. Because the problem is that I see right now immediately is that this and this are in the same angle, which is framing them both from. Maybe that actually is not bad. Let me check who's here. Привет, привет. I was just checking. And then ended up having my husband pick me up, was pouring outside. I'm soaked. I postponed too long, so Mother Nature was angry with me. Oh, DM, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is just, that's, well, here's the thing. At least your husband has some extra work to do. I'm pretty sure that he enjoys to, being involved in your endeavors outside of your comfort zone. Right? Oh man, I can imagine him being, oh, why wouldn't I just I'm thinking, like this is how I think about the situation. And I'm gonna take the side of your husband. I'll be like, I'm pretty sure I told her to go sooner because it's going to be a rain, and she was no worries. I'm gonna make it. I'm pretty sure that this is what's happening in his head. Well, and I'm basing this on my own on my own behavior. Because these things, yeah, that's it. He's like, you couldn't have gone earlier. I'm sorry, DM7, that I'm laughing, but I know that that's what, because that's how certain minds works. They're just, dude, I told you, just go now. It's going to be easier later. It's way too funny. Well, and I laugh at your response, and I agree, but somehow I still postponed. I cursed myself. I love it. This is exactly this is exactly what makes me I don't want to say furious, but would make me even angrier because I would receive the answer that, well, I wanted to, but here is the other things that, you know. Oh, I got it. I got it. I love it. I love this is awesome. I'm sorry I'm laughing at your misfortune and being soaked. Hopefully you're not gonna get sick. And I'm not laughing that you got soaked. I'm laughing at the situation that probably happened, most likely, and you kind of um, um, confirmed my absolute nightmares when I'm trying to explain that, oh, let's just, I see the clouds coming, I see a drizzling, there is very good chance that it's going to pour down, go now. I'll be fine. I just find it funny. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm laughing right now. But if the same thing happened to me, let's say with, you know, with uh, I, my sister, for example, I would be furious. I would spend 2 hours to bringing her misery and to the point that she would just stop talking to me, to explaining her how bad decision it was. So yeah, I'm a little too, and it's only when it comes to family. I'm a little too emotional when it comes to these things. But I'm laughing at that situation because I know how he feels. I'm pretty sure he was driving his car and he's like, I told her so many times, like, why doesn't she listen to me? Well, that's what I would do for sure. That's what I would do for sure. Like, I told her. I saw the clouds. I pointed out in the window, clouds are coming. You know. And she was like, nah, it's okay. I have time. And then I'm in the car. Usually I don't postpone too much, but today I'm just lazy, like hack. Just one of those days. Yeah, I know, I know. And it's not about the laziness, but I truly understand, and more these days, because of how much other work I have simultaneously. Um, you know, I used to be angry with my mom about these things actually a lot. And right now I understand that she was like all over the place trying to make sure, and she still is, not like, you know, she's trying to maintain and make sure that everybody's happy. Many times, many times she did it, and she's still doing it. Like I said, you know, on her own. On her own, on her own time, and well, I'm trying to say I appreciate it a lot these days. Maybe something in me hoped that I could control the weather. Oh, definitely, definitely. And I think I know what it is, but I'm not going to say it out loud. Oh, that would be so cool right here if I could keep it in the same spot. There's so many beautiful, like, layers that I'm finding that are kind of like, you know, they are in the. I'm thinking about the position of that cross. Where would it be ideal? It just wants to go lower, but I don't want to put it on the same. So this is where it's right here. Yeah, it's hitting it, so it has to be higher. But I don't want it to go too high up with it. Like right here maybe, but then it's just, you know what? Maybe that's, maybe that could work. It's just, it seems, let's try this. Let's see what's gonna happen. Like there is no, maybe a little bit more this way. And maybe he could hold it straight. But a straight line doesn't seem very, very nice though. Maybe straight line and tilt. Let's see that, yeah. So here, am I getting too close to comfort? Yeah, I'm getting too close. So maybe I will have to move him a little closer.